Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. I'm going to show you how to draw this shape. Don't know if you'd ever want to draw it, but I'm going to use a 5-sided polygon, but then I'm going to do it with a 6 and see if we can't make a tessellation of it. So I'm going to use a 6-sided first, then I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page, and then I'm going to turn it to a 5. And the reason I did that, Corel thinks the polygon's right there. Now we're going to take a 2-point line and we're going to go from that node to that node. I'm going to turn it black so we can see it. And then I'm going to grab it with the shape tool, both of them. I'm going to right click, I'm going to turn it to a curve. By doing that, now I can use these handles to move it down. And you could go as far as deep as you wanted, it won't really matter. Now we're going to take the pick tool, select it, and we're going to Control D and make a duplicate. And we're going to put that center rotation right there on that node. And then we're going to rotate it. If you don't hit that X, Corel will do that. And I'm going to do that around, and I'm going to make sure it snaps to that node. I'm going to take a quick look, make sure we're at both corners. No, we're not. See, and that's why I look. So let's hit rotate again and put it on that corner. It snapped to it, but it didn't get there. And it's still not there. So that's why you want to look. So when you have that square box, you're moving. When you have that, you're in a rotation mode. Now these are still 2 lines. Whoops, I jiggled something. I'm going to jiggle it back. These are still 2 lines, so I'm going to shift select both lines. And then I'm going to get the shape tool. I'm going to swipe through the middle. I'm going to go to Windows, Dockers, and Join Curves. And by doing that, it made it 1 line. Now, I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate. And I'm going to put the center rotation right there in the center. Now, you could actually use the center transformation docker. That's funny. It's just sometimes it'll click. So it says center, but it's not. Now it is. And I'm going to rotate it 72 degrees. Control D, Control D, Control D. So we have that weird shape. Now we're going to take our 6-sided polygon out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put a rectangle around for safety. And I'm going to fill that in. And it worked. So that means my nodes are on top of each other. So there you have that. That's a pretty unique, cool shape. But let's do it with a 6-sided polygon, and maybe we'll get where we can tessellate it. And a 4-sided would work, but let's go 6. Let's draw it, put P, put it in the center of the page. Let's zoom in here a little bit, take a 2-point line and go from that node to that node. Let's make it black so we can see it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's get the shape tool, select both of them, right click, and turn it into a curve. I'm pretty sure this will work for a tessellation. I'm not 100% sure because we're going to do 2 different lines, but it should still work. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate, double click on the rotation and put it on that node, and then swing it around and make sure it's there. I think I hit it this time. Yep. So we still need to make those 2 lines the same. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select it. I've got this still open. I'm going to get this shape. Well, it's already done. It did it. Hopefully this will make a tessellation. So now I'm going to get the pick tool, Control D and make a duplicate. And this time we need to change the rotation degree to 60. So we're going to make 60 degrees, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Now, if it worked, we're going to test it before. I'm going to bring a rectangle back in, bring our Smart Fill tool, and it worked. Now let's see if it'll tessellate. So I'm going to take away the fill there, make it black. If it tessellates good, it should work. Or if I did it okay, it should work. We're going to put that right there, and look at that. So this is the tessellation, which means it's going to continue forever and ever and ever. And you could put these pieces just mean, you could just keep, let's make it smaller. And you could probably do this mathematically, but the snap tool works so well. So Control G to group it, Control D to duplicate it. And let's take that node right there and put it right there. It didn't, I was not on that node. Well, I had it for a second and I'm afraid I rotated it. Well, I didn't. And you could just keep going with that. Control G and group it. Control D to duplicate it. Take that lowest point right there and snap it to there. And you could just keep going over and ever and ever. This would be a really neat tessellation because you cut these out and make them different colored woods. And then put it back together. It will look pretty special. I've done a lot with tessellations. I love making them. And let's put in a green. And it'll just keep going on and on and on. Whoop! I must have got outside the box. Yeah, I did. I always call it a box. It's not a box, but it's outside the... And it's funny, I just did a video today doing these colors in different colors. So that's a tessellation using a 6-sided polygon, and then that's just a weird shape. Now this would probably test. Let's make a copy of it and take the fill away. There's our outline. It would do, it might tessellize, but it's a lot more difficult because you're gonna have to rotate it to make it work. And it could be done, but it's just not really worth it after all the work you do. And then it would be easy just to go across and, you know, I think you could do this mathematically now. Let's go Control G and group it. Let's take the parallel dimension tool and go from that node to that node. And we're at 1645. Let's take that away. Let's change our nudge distance to 16.45. Let's Control D and make a duplicate. And look at that. Well, no, it didn't because we still got to rotate it. I wonder if you can just rotate it now and have an open spot. Nope, you're still going to have a funny shape in there. So maybe stay away from a 5-sided. You could do this with a square, but that's a pretty cool tessellation. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.